Hey guys, my name is Matt Canzone. This is CanzoneChronicles, and I got a great one for you today. This is a huge World War II event that we're doing today at the Maps Museum right here in Ohio. This is our first stop of this huge World War II event that we're at here in Ohio. And this is the U.S. encampment area. Now I wanted to take you through and kind of take you through each tent and each unit and see what they do and how vital they were to our troops. So come on, let's get this video. I'm here with Private First Class Reed, and he's going to discuss the M1 Garand with us and how important it was in the field of battle.
This is the M1 Garand. This is an empty weapon.
That was called the M1 Thumb, just in case he got his thumb caught in there too, by the way.
It was originally designed in 1936. It went over many iterations and was adopted in 41.
And because it's semi-automatic, that made it much more tactical and practical in the field in between reloads and things like that too,
exactly.
Right? Sounds good. And what are some of the other stuff you have on the table here?
Here we have the M9A1 and M1 bazooka. These were anti-tank weapons.
Used on tanks, right?
Yes.
Primarily.
And early war, the warheads were pointed, but then we realized that it could deflect
the surface, yeah. And then what are some of the grenades here that you have, Reed?
So these are what are called rifle grenades. They attach with one of these adapters onto the end of an M1 Garand. This is a anti-personnel one. Basically, you would throw this onto the end of the
for all
adapter.
Your soft targets.
This was the anti-tank round that you could fire. It was basically the same as a bazooka round, same amount of penetration. How this worked is this part would squish against the armor and match the angle if there was any, and then it would shoot a hot jet of copper through the armor.
To pierce the armor, yeah. We're here with Private Barnett, and he's going to talk to you about the M1 Carbine today.
So this is the M1 Carbine. Showing clear. This was the main support rifle of the war. The US realized that the Garand, which is a full-size rifle, would be hard to use for support troops. They wanted a gun that could shoot further and be more accurate than a standard 1911 sidearm. They developed the M1 carbine and later the M2 carbine, which is essentially this but fully automatic. They used these in a variety of different support roles. So if you were a driver, if you were a mortar crewman, if you were shooting a Browning 30 cal, you would likely have this. Some people think it wasn't as powerful as a Garand, but with the 15 round magazine, it could still deliver some good stopping power.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys. I'm with Corporal McGirt, and he's going to talk to you about how vital the first aid medical was during World War II for our troops.
This is where wounded would come after they come right off the battlefield from our field medics. This is a wounded that just came in. We have them on a litter, is what they were called. And then we have a plasma holder. There would be a bottle of plasma here with an IV. Down the line here, we have just a table of bloody bandages, sterilized bandages, tourniquets, canteens, a sterilizer kit. Bandages were often reused during the war. The sterilizer was pretty imperative. We would boil water, put the bandages in it, along with tools, and we would clean it up.
And one thing I wanted to ask you too, I mean, this was technically set up for surgery too, right? If you had to, or no?
Technically, we wouldn't do surgery. That would be more of a field hospital situation.
Got it.
We are a aid station / battalion aid station. So the most we would do is basic stabilization. So the most we would probably do is just a tourniquet on the bandage and give them morphine.
So for like a wound or something like that.
Much.
Gotcha.
Yep. Over here we have our typewriter and our field desk. So this keeps all of our files and all of our situation reports organized. We can type some up if we need to. You can see we have a weekly report here of what our current stock of material is. Along with that, we have just boxes and boxes of medical stuff. Yeah, the boxes over there are extremely expendable.
So that field box is technically like a thermos almost, like, right?
That would be a food cabinet.
Got it.
Like they would store, there's actually a tin in there to store food in. It would keep it cool, yeah.
I would imagine they use whatever they can get their hands on now, right?
But yeah, so these boxes, they hold anything we can bring, usually bandages, usually sterilization kits, whatever we need. We would just have tons and tons of these boxes. We get more supplies probably each week as we move along. Battalion aid stations were actually meant to be pretty mobile. We would be about 100 or so yards off the front line, and we would move with the front line, obviously.
About how long would it take to set it up and break it down?
So usually we wouldn't really set up a tent like this. It would just be, we'd find some defilades, some tree cover.
Just opened up area.
Throw it all down. It would probably take maybe an hour at most.
Got it.
If you have a larger aid station, maybe just 45 minutes to throw everything down, get everything set up.
That's pretty fast considering, yeah, all the equipment.
Right.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
that. Yeah. Hey guys, I'm with Sergeant Jones here. He's going to talk to you about how vital the Motorpool was to World War II and our troops.
Hey guys, how you guys doing? What we have here is our working motor pool from World War II. So when a vehicle is damaged and needs repaired in the field, it happens all the time. These vehicles are used and abused and they can't always be maintained all the time. So they're brought into our motor pool and they're fixed by someone who looks like me. I'm a mechanic and I'll be working on these vehicles and we'll be showing you guys what's going on. So if we keep working through here, we have our tool display. We have all era correct tools, period correct tools that they would have used. Tire pressure gauges, wrenches, whatever a common soldier might need to fix their vehicle.
There was no Lowe's back then, so we couldn't go back to like Home Depot or anything, right?
No, that's correct.
Okay.
You just kind of you got what the military gave you and you went from there. What we have up on our blocks here, this is a 1942 Willys MB. This is the most built vehicle during the war. About 650,000 Jeeps were made during World War II. When these things broke down, which was a lot, they came in here and got maintenance. So this thing was in here all the time. So somebody like me, a mechanic, would have to know everything that was wrong with this vehicle and how to fix it. So when we pull it up on the blocks, we can do an oil change, we can fill up the gas, whatever needs done can happen here. Where we would be located in terms of a battlefield is further back. We're not going to be right up on the front lines. A common soldier that you might see would know how to fix basic things, but not have the tools or capabilities that we have back behind the lines in the motor pool.
That was strategic, right? That you guys were further
Correct.
back to create a buffer so that you guys could be protected, because this would demobilize you if you were ever to get attacked or
Sure.
anything there, right?
Sure, I mean, we have to leave everything behind.
Yeah, that
if we
makes
were
sense.
attacked here, all of our valuable equipment, all of our valuable machines here would have to be left behind.
And also, how long would it take, because you're a mobile unit, so how long would it take you to set up and break down if you had to move?
A long time. I mean, upwards 3-4 hours probably.
Wow, that's a
I
lot,
mean,
yeah.
totally depends on the amount of vehicles that we have.
And how many personnel would be assigned to Motorpool typically?
Probably about 5 guys.
Okay.
If you have a huge armor unit, obviously the number gets a lot greater. What we have here is we have our motor oil. We have a pump. We would pump oil into our oil can here, and then we would move liquid from one place to another. Then over here we just have regular gasoline, and this would just get dumped into a jerry can.
Okay.
We look down here, we have our trucks. We go in the back. Actually, speaking of the fuel, our fuel would be delivered on something that looks like this. We have our oil and gas canisters that are getting unloaded.
Sergeant Jones, thanks so much.
No
Appreciate
problem.
your help, man. I'm joined here with Private First Class Dietrich.
Yep.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Thanks for joining us. I'm great. Thanks
No
for being
problem.
here. And he's going to go ahead and go through the different vehicles that were used and vital for our troops during World War II.
So we'll start at the Jeeps. So we have the radio Jeeps. We have one with modifications like a radio a spool bar, a antenna and radios inside. We also have one on the ramp over there. That's just a normal Jeep. It doesn't have any modifications. We also have a ambulance Jeep, so it has the rack on the back. You can put 2 stretchers on the back. There's also some boxes and some crates on it for medical supplies. We also have dribbles right here. It just has a 30 cal on it. This is an earlier Jeep, so it has actually hand welded grill, while all the other ones are all stamped, more rarer than the other ones. The furthest away one we have is the WC-21. It was a smaller 1 3/4 ton truck, so it was just basically dissipating supplies from the supply line. You could have 2.5 tons in the back and tow 2.5 tons. So that would come from, Britain onto the beach of Normandy and go all the way through the red transport line, all the way up to the front lines. We also have the WC-62. That is a longer bed. It's the same 1/4 ton as the WC-21. It's dual axle, or not dual axle, it has another axle behind it. And can transport a lot more men. We also have the WC-52. That's our Bloody Mary ambulance. So that's actually the only air-conditioned heated truck in all of the World War II United States trucks. Over here we have the M3A1 scout car. So it was the primary reconnaissance and scouting vehicle of the United States Army. Almost all divisions except for the smaller ones like the Airborne and the Rangers would have them. So it's basically just a spotting truck, and they would have the machine guns just in case they would have to open fire if they were caught and ambushed.
We're here at the German camp, and we're going to take a walk around. We're going to meet one of the NCOs, and he's going to kind of give us the lay of the land, so to speak, and go over some weapons and go over general infantry and the sleeping quarters and arrangements that they had back during World War II with the Axis powers. So come on, let's get this video. I'm here with NCO Obelstein. How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks for joining us. He's going to talk about his unit and how vital he was to the German front, and he's going to go over some weapons with us.
So what we got here today is the German MG34 machine gun. It was the first belt-fed multi-purpose machine gun pretty much ever. Go ahead and open it up, make sure it's clear. See there, it's clear. It has been adapted from, it's an original shroud, and the rear receiver has been modified so that it can accept an original full auto bolt, all that. And it's got a two-piece barrel that's fully integrated into the shroud, so that way it cannot be removed and you can't put a live barrel in, chamber a live round, all that good stuff. It still functions pretty well close to about the same as what an original MG34 would fire. And
that was kind of one of its downfalls too, was the barrel not being able to change out quickly in the field of battle.
So, but it was kind of a double-edged sword. The way that the barrel change works on these is there's a button on the side of the receiver here, and the receiver would actually rotate out of the way, and you would pull the barrel out and then change a new barrel in. Like I said, this one's a two-piece barrel, so it's actually got a little piston in it, which makes it cycle. It's one of the guns that was beneficial to like the Panzer crews and stuff, because you know they would have an armored shroud instead of the field shroud that would go on here. It would be used as like the coax gun on any type of armored vehicle, because on a 42, in order to change the barrel, you would have to open up the side, and you wouldn't be able to have that armored ball mount on the front.
Got it. But it was a quicker barrel change on the 42.
Yeah, you can get a closer look here and really see how intricate all the machine work is on these, even all the way down into the bolt. It's just amazing how many practices went into machining these. They were semi-auto and full auto. They had a double trigger. They would still shoot about 900 rounds a minute or so, especially early on in the war.
That's fast, yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very fast.
Now, did that increase with the MG42 at all, or
yes,
still about the same? 1200, was it 1200?
Yeah, about 12 to 1500, depending how wore out your gun was, more or less.
Got it.
So it was mostly like a behind the lines kind of thing. It had all the tools, all the wrenches and everything you would need, all the files and stuff to maintain it. It had trays in here even that you could pull out. You could keep your micrometers and all that stuff, wrenches for your Lafette tripods and stuff like that.
Now the interesting thing about the Lafette's the name for the mount for these guns.
Yes.
This is something that's highly more rare than the gun itself, but not as valuable as the gun, which makes no sense. And those mounts are so complicated and intricate. This will actually fold up and turn into a backpack, which is what the two pad system's for.
It actually has back here, there is a mechanism for what they would call a searching fire. It had different settings back here, and there's a table on the back here if you want to get a good look at that.
Data sheet.
Yeah, it's a replica data sheet.
And was this in the original, is this the original finish, color and everything?
It's the original color, but it's been refinished.
Got it, okay, so that's what they would look like though.
Yep. This is another one of the more interesting elements of being in a machine gun company is you'd have to have a belt loader. So you just have stacks of belts and you dump all your rounds into here and just turn them out. In order to keep up with that massive rate of fire for both the 34 and the 42, you had to have lots of ammo. It even goes as far as into how the cans were designed, because the US cans, they have the handles in the center, so you could just carry one can in a hand at a time. But with the German cans, they were off-centered, so you could carry twice the amount of ammo.
Very smart, yeah. So this is a made to look like BMW.
Yes.
For German wartime.
It's a poor man's BMW.
Got it. I like that.
But it's nice because it's got the two-wheel drive and everything like the R75s had. Okay. Technically, in this configuration, it's more of an R71.
And you would have, on this vehicle, you'd have a machine gun, 2 personnel, and ammo too, right?
Oh yeah. So this tent is basically what they would call a Bergger tent or a mountain tent. Honestly, they wouldn't be used a whole lot in the field. What you'd see mostly is like the Zeltbahn tents like these gentlemen have over here. And they would actually fit 4 men in one of those little, maybe 5 by 5 foot pyramid Zeltbahn tents. But these ones, we cheat pretty good here. We got ground cloths and all that stuff, and blankets and all that. I just try to make it as homey as possible, because when you're out here in the heat, it definitely makes it nice when you got somewhere nice to stay for the night.
And that's a Zeltbahn right there rolled up, right?
Yes.
And so that would be a overcoat, so to speak, or like a raincoat?
A raincoat, yeah.
A raincoat, okay. It's like a poncho. It's a World War II poncho.
Pretty much, yeah, basically, exactly.
How many of those would make a tent?
4.
4 of those would make 1 tent for to sleep how many people?
4.
So you'd have 2 on duty, 2 sleeping. So you'd have 2 on patrol, making sure that the surroundings are safe, and then you have 2 sleeping, and they'd work in shifts, right?
Yep. So everybody in the unit would be issued. Well, everybody in the German army was issued with a Zeltbahn, but there were so many guys that were issued with the poles and the stake sets. There's like an A-frame that would go on the back of your Y straps back here.
Yep.
And then you can mount this to it, or you can mount this to your belt. Like I said, that pole and stake bag would go right on the A-frame and stuff too. So as long as you had somebody with the poles, you had a place to sleep.
Yeah, it's a mini spa when it's 100 degrees outside inside there, so you can get some health benefits from sweating it off, I guess.
Right.
All the alcohol they drank from the night before.
Right, absolutely. They put it away, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I did. It was a lot of fun, and to support us so we can keep doing more things like this, subscribe down below. And if you want to watch last week's video, click right here. And if you want to watch any of the other videos, click right down here. And we'll see you later. And remember, be honorable and keep history alive.